All right, folks. Hello and welcome back to round four. That was a very quick turnaround because our round three was really close, came down to the wire really long, pretty much the whole time. But now we're back for round four. I'm once again Zach.
I'm once again Ben.
Yeah, I haven't changed that much. We do have two new players to feature on stream here. So let's just stop with the formalities and dive right in here. The team preview. So we get a look at these pretty cool teams.
Yeah, the hits start coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. These are two interesting teams
And
that
it's
we have
Scizor!
up against. Yeah, we've got two really interesting teams here. We've got the Spectrier, Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl, Gholdengo, Hisui, and Arcanine, and Gastrodon for Cody, and the Scizor, Flutter Mane, Great Tusk, where have you been, buddy? Maushold, Talonflame, and Annihilape for Ori.
Yeah, Ori's team is a bit of a throwback, sort of like a Regulation B team that you wouldn't feel out of place there, but Great Tusk has definitely fallen off here. There's a lot of pretty prominent flying types like Tornadus and Thunderous and Cresselia that are really give Great Tusk trouble in Regulation D, but none of those are on Cody's field. So Great Tusk might be able to sort of relive the glory days a little bit here.
Yeah, as far as ground resistances, we have Rillaboom, and that's it.
We have ground immunities. We have no ground immunities. We don't have any of those.
Although this Great Tusk is packing Earthquakes, so we'll have to be wary of that Rillaboom, regardless of whether it targets it or not.
Yep, Rillaboom might be a little bit under threat. The Talonflame and Scizor are pretty comfortably able to deal huge damage to it. It's, of course, as ever, Maushold Annihilape is something to be respected. Otherwise, Rage Fist will just figure out everything here. The Grimmsnarl that we see on this side now from Cody is going to be the more classic light screen, dual screen set, light clay. That's going to be a little bit more standard than we might have expected from the Grimmsnarl from last round.
It was clicking mainly Spirit Break and doing the bulk of the damage. Yeah, we're getting right into game one here. Cody versus Free, round four here at the CardArt local event in California, Sunnyvale, California. You do see the leads here is Annihilape and Talonflame for Ori, and the Gholdengo Grimmsnarl.
Almost two classic combos. If it was Maushold Annihilape, I would have said so. But Talonflame and Annihilape is a little bit more of a. It makes sense that these two are paired together. We've definitely seen them on teams past. But the Gholdengo Grimmsnarl is pretty tried and true, I think, at this point. Set up the screens. You set up a nasty plot with this Gholdengo, or at least you would expect that normally. But of course, this Gholdengo is the Choice Specs variant, so just going for big damage right off the bat. And Annihilape wants nothing to do with that. Doesn't want to take a Specs Shadow Ball right off the bat. So Protect and Grimmsnarl are going to follow up with a light screen, weaken the physical attacks.
Yeah, that Reflect making a whole lot of sense coming out from Grimmsnarl. The taunt from Talonflame not being blocked by that Dark type because Talonflame is not a Prankster Pokemon. It's just Gale Wings, and Gale Wings doesn't activate for that, but Choice Spec Shadow Ball actually enough to pick up the one-hit KO on that Talonflame.
Yeah, you know what else stops Gale Wings? A knockout.
That'll do a pretty darn good job, yes.
Talonflame can no longer use Gale Wings. It cannot also use anything else. No longer able to set up Tailwind here, but the Great Tusk now hitting the field after its good friend Talonflame just KO'd. The Talon-Tusk combo just a little bit staggered this time. We might be seeing another duo if we have the Maushold in the back for this Annihilape, but knowing that this Gholdengo is locked into that Shadow Ball is important information. It means that this Annihilape is definitely not safe. And Grimmsnarl is not really doing a whole lot here. It does have two fighting types to hit with Spirit Break, though. Sounds like some pretty decent chip damage.
That is something. We are going to see a Terra come out here on turn 2. It is going to be Terra Fire on that Annihilape, going to help it take that Shadow Ball way better than it would have. Notably, this is an Assault Vest Great Tusk, so it could possibly take a Shadow Ball from Gholdengo if it even has to, and it might, because Headlong Rush is not quite enough to pick TKO on the Gholdengo.
Yep, the Reflect being huge there. He dropped special defense because of the Headlong Rush. Isn't going to be able to change the damage calculator. It is. Great Tusk is just KO'd. Gholdengo gets 2 for 2 on Shadow Ball KOs here. Annihilape is going to retaliate with a bulk up. Does not have to worry about anything really this Grimmsnarl can do. Grimmsnarl can go for Spirit Break, but that's kind of what you want there. That the crit, that did way more than it should have to a Terra Fire Annihilape after a bulk up, but the special attack drop into Defiant is playing right into Ori's hand.
I think if I'm Ori, I'm okay with taking the critical hit on the Spirit Break there, especially with the leftovers to offset the bit of extra damage that would have done. You do sacrifice Great Tusk for that, but Annihilape is now in a much better spot, and Scizor revealed to be the final Pokemon for Ori this game.
Interesting, and Annihilape also, with that Spirit Break, gets a nice buff. Rage Fist. Rage Fist is now... Well, Annihilape's at +3, and Rage Fist has 1 stack under it. So 100 base power Ghost here, so... might even be in range to be KO'd by a Bullet Punch. We'll have to see. Either way, Gholdengo is the only thing really for at this point. Grimmsnarl is easily ignorable here. Spirit Break is inconsequential damage. Scizor, and just buff up Annihilape tremendously.
Grimmsnarl definitely in an awkward spot. Doesn't really want to be here, but also you don't want to swap Grimmsnarl out in case an attack is going that way. Because even though it is a 4v2 at this point, a stacked Annihilape is nothing to trifle with, and you still have to be very careful. Annihilape going to pivot in here for the Gholdengo, preserve Gholdengo for later.
Rillaboom coming in, gonna set that Grassy Train, give Annihilape even more healing. Scizor protecting itself, doesn't want to take a Shadow Ball quite yet, as the Rage Fist going into what once was the Gholdengo. Gonna do a huge amount of damage to that Annihilape. Not Annihilape. I'm mixing around the monkeys. That's Rillaboom.
That's through Reflect, by the way. It still did well over half of Rillaboom's HP, and that is a lot of damage. We do see Spirit Break go into. Protect not super impactful that turn, because Spirit Break, like we said, would not have done that much damage.
Yeah, and this Grassy, you just gave Annihilape Grassy Train, so you've got Grassy Train and leftovers. It's going to be healing 12% every turn. It's going to be really hard to get rid of this Annihilape, as we see Cody does not have the things that would be able to hit a fire type for super effective damage in the back, being the Gastrodon or the Arcanine. This Rillaboom does not even have a Stomping Tantrum. After the bulk up, Annihilape can probably tank that Stomping Tantrum as well, so this is... The lead was not great for Ori, but this endgame might be too disastrous for Cody to come back from.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because you look at this and think, oh, Reflect is up. It's 4v2. This is great. But it's really not, because Annihilape is like 7 Pokemon in one sometimes. Rage Fist doing a bunch of damage to Rillaboom, not quite enough to pick it up. Taunt does go off onto Scizor after the Bullet Punch into Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl does survive that, fire off a Spirit Break in return, but yeah, Scizor is going to heal that back up with Grassy Train. Not much here.
Yeah, and this Rillaboom does not Citrus Berry, but it does not have Protect, so like constant Rage Fists into that slot make perfect sense. And yeah, Scizor almost doesn't even need to be here. Like, Annihilape's kind of got this on its own, but of course, Ori's not going to complain about just free Bullet Punches chipping away at this.
But definitely not snagging another bulk up, because why not? Annihilape is in an amazing spot here.
Do it! Stop me! What are you gonna...
And yeah, is not really threatened by anything. Taunt goes off and Annihilape says, oh no, now I have to punch things.
That would be awful. I would hate for that to happen. Yeah, Spirit Break once again into the Scizor. Again, not going to do too much damage. The Grassy Train almost hurting Cody here more than it's helping. Because, I can power up Wood Hammers into 2 things that don't care about that.
Annihilape is at +2 defense now, and Scizor is Scizor, neither are very concerned about Wood Hammer. I think Ori's playing this pretty well in that they're not going for immediate knockouts. Here they're just sort of slowly building momentum so as not to give any momentum over to Cody.
Pretty smart way of approaching this. Sort of just whittling away. There's no reason to make any big aggressive predictions or anything. Knowing that Annihilape's kind of got this on lock as long as Blue's here. Goes for a pretty nice Drain Punch. A little bit more recovery, why not? Oh, that really. Now, yeah, just gets 2 knockouts at the same time. So once it's going to be 2 Ghost type. Drain Punch no longer going to be a real slicing option. But Rage Fist definitely going to be a nice option here.
It is worth noting that Annihilape does not have any special defense boost, only regular defense boost. The game is not over, but Annihilape is looking very good right now, considering that there's nothing on the opposing side that really threatens it. Too much damage. Scizor doing a bit of chip, really. Spectrier fires back with the Shadow Ball doing not that much damage. Could be a critical special defense drop, though. onto the Annihilate.
For 2 reasons, giving Annihilape and now +6 attack the follow-up. Spec Shadow Ball at -1. Is this enough to KO the Annihilape? It is. So pulled out by that Shadow Ball special attack drop. Yeah, I think going for the Bullet Punch onto that Spectre instead of trying to get the KO onto that Gholdengo with the Bullet Punch from Scizor might have been such a close spot there. Really tricky where, like, Annihilape was definitely in a really good spot, but now it's completely different. Two strong Shadow Balls into the Scizor. Really hard to deal with this.
Now suddenly we're looking at a very different game after one pretty disastrous turn for Ori. Bullet Punch did not end up coming through to Gholdengo to pick up the knockout, like you said, and it's a toss-up as to whether it would have even picked up that knockout thanks to Reflect still being in play. Spectrier getting a free Nasty Plot off here.
All but sealing this game, right? Reflect just wearing off right when it doesn't really matter anymore. Maybe I don't even think Bullet Punch crit is going to get it. Now we can see if this actually KOs the Gholdengo. It does indeed.
Without Reflect in play. With the crit.
Okay, now it's a crit. Now we have no idea. That just screwed up all of it.
Nobody knows anything.
No one knows
Moving
anything.
on.
It was a crit. It had Grassy Terrain Recovery. This +2 Shadow Ball, though, is going to do huge damage to Scizor. Yeah, easily gets the knockout there. Spectrier. People forget, no slouch in the special attack department. And we are going to be going into game 2 here. Cody is going to be able to pick up that knockout.
Yes, indeed. That was something. Annihilate nearly running away with the entire game all on its own.
Oh,
and fell sort of at the last minute.
Yeah, as you're saying, like, Ori was playing that really nicely, not getting overzealous, not giving any room for Cody to come back into that, but it was that one turn. One turn open, left the door open for something bad to happen, and something bad did happen. That special attack, special defense drop was probably the difference maker in that Shadow Ball.
Sometimes playing Pokemon is like driving. All it takes is one. You get in one car accident, that's going to be real bad. Sometimes all it takes is one turn.
One turn, you just...
For all of your plans to be derailed completely.
And that changed everything. Otherwise, Annihilape kind of cleanly walks away with that game and being like, easy, I got it. Like, but those getting 2 Shadow Balls onto that Annihilape, right? As you said, it only got defense, but you get special defense. So, yeah, that's got to sting if you're Ori. I think just being like, oh, I played that so carefully, except the one time I played a little bit carelessly, I got caught. And it always feels bad to have that happen, but that's what happens when you play this game, right? You leave the door open for potential crits or secondary effects to happen that can derail everything. I think Ori kind of just do the same thing and be like, all right, well, even if I play the game exactly the same way, as long as the special defense drop doesn't happen, probably okay.
Yeah, things should go my way. This time, though, an adjustment. We do see Maushold Annihilate, and another adjustment from Cody. It is Grimmsnarl and Gastrodon.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting... So, on one hand, like, this is just a free beat-up Rage Fist. The Reflect might be able to keep Gastrodon around for one turn longer than where you might want here. But Taunt can stop the yawn that this Gastrodon was going for. It's going to be the one way that Gastrodon has to slow down Annihilape. Make it through the day, it has to stay in. But this is just a free Taunt bulk up. The Reflect is nice from Grimmsnarl, but kind of okay. And once again, like, Spirit Break is not the best option to Annihilate. It is a little bit of a pin where you don't want to Terra Fire to get power. A little awkward in that spot, but I think Ori definitely has a lot of options.
Ori's saying, you know what, actually, I don't even need to redirect. I don't even need to redirect any damage. I can just go for Population Bomb. Unfortunately, Rocky Helmet is the item of choice for this Gastrodon. So Maushold slowly chipping away Gastrodon, that's true. Doing way more damage to itself.
This is also a Maushold that does not carry the wide lens, so having hit that many times is kind of lucky, because usually you miss at that point without wide lens. Yeah, 6 times he's able to KO the Maushold, so Ori does get a free switch there, which is Annihilape does get once again another bulk up. The KO of the Maushold is actually kind of good because it redirects the Spirit Break into the Annihilape to give it a Defiant boost.
It could be a big brain play, actually. You kind of don't need Maushold there. Annihilape isn't risking a ton of damage on this turn without going Terra Fire, right? So now it's back up over half. It's at +4 attack and +2 defense. And you saw that it shrugged off that Earth Power reasonably well.
Yeah, and sure it's low, but now it's got
This
two
is kind of good.
Yeah, it's got 2 good Drain Punch targets to like just heal up the rest of that damage. Scizor is also in a pretty nice spot here. Yeah, to potentially throw out some bullet punches into that Grimmsnarl, chip away like it was in my last game. Yep, exactly what we're seeing.
Bullet Punch doing a sizable chunk, not quite half to the Grimmsnarl. Drain Punch. Actually, Gastrodon taking that Drain Punch very well, but Annihilape
Reflect.
is very happy to get any HP that it can. Fight the Rocky Helmet does end up on the better side of that. Spirit Break going into Annihilape again. Playing with fire here, pun not intended because it's not terastallized yet.
Not yet. Might be playing with ghost fighting. That's what she's
Playing with ghost fighting here, and Earth Power's not enough to pick up Annihilape there.
Power doesn't quite get it. Annihilape gets some leftovers healing, and now for everyone keeping track at home, this Annihilape is at +6 attack. If I'm got 2 bulk ups, 2 define boosts, so it should be a +6 attack. It is low, but there's a big sack of HP called Grimmsnarl that it could very easily take advantage of right now to get some health back.
Critical hit just for good measure, because what's a +6 Drain Punch without a crit, am I right?
Yeah, no damage.
Bringing it back up to almost half here. Critically the fastest thing on the field, that's important. Close combat from Scizor now coming out, barely not finishing up Gastrodon though. 1 HP, thank you, Reflect.
Gastrodon hanging on with 1 singular hit point. Gonna do some more Rocky Helmet chip damage, and the taunt has worn off now, so Yawn can go into the Scizor.
But it's Scizor, not Annihilape.
Yeah, that's really big. Annihilape not being hit by that Yawn is huge. It does not have to forfeit the +6 attack boosts it has.
And +2 defense.
Yeah, and like Scizor, meanwhile, Scizor just used post combat. It kind of doesn't mind switching out, right? Like it wants to get those defenses back.
Yeah, does not mind switching at all. Gholdengo does come in here and is in a pretty solid spot. As we saw in the previous game, correct me if I'm wrong, Gholdengo does outspeed the Annihilape, meaning that Shadow Ball is kind of free to go for here. The only resistance to Shadow Ball is, let me check here, Maushold, which is no longer in play.
Yeah, so Annihilape is going to protect and play it safe for this turn, see what this Gholdengo locks into. Gastrodon doing much the same. Okay, quite yet here. Big players are going to be this Scizor going for the bullet punch, yet picking off that 1 HP. But all eyes are on Gholdengo. What is it going to be doing? It's going for the Shadow Ball into that Annihilape. Makes a ton of sense. Annihilape also getting some more leftovers recovery here. Always appreciated.
Always appreciated, but unless it terastallizes, I don't think it's going to be able to take this Choice Spec Shadow Ball. And even if it does, there is a chance that it's able to take it out. Scizor is put to sleep, but Scizor's not really the big problem here.
It's still all eyes on Annihilape and this Gholdengo. Those are the 2 main things. But even if Annihilape survives, it's probably going to get hit with a Yawn, right? Because the Gastrodon is still here at 1 HP, still being annoying. Scizor did not switch out, so now it's kind of forced to switch out to do anything really next turn. Great Tusk is in an okay spot, potentially. I mean, it's unlikely that things are going to be targeting that Great Tusk. So, yeah, the Terrifier kind of forced out on the Annihilape. Make sure that it does not immediately drop to this the Shadow Ball from Gholdengo.
It could still drop anyway, though. Choice Spec Shadow Ball is very strong coming off the Gholdengo. Does go into Annihilape. Annihilape does hang on, though. That is a very critical survival. Not going for Drain Punch, though. Just saying, I am getting rid of you immediately. And Gholdengo is promptly gotten rid of immediately.
Gholdengo is taken off of the board here as the Yawn does go into Annihilape, so that is annoying.
But it's not Earth Power. It's not a KO.
It's not a KO. Annihilape gets to stick around for yet another turn, and every turn that it's asleep and not KO'd, it gets more leftovers recovery. And here we're going to see Annihilape activate Defiant once again.
Except it's okay now, because it can't get any stronger.
Yeah, Annihilape's attack fell, activates Defiant. Its attack raised only once, not twice, because it was at +5 at that point. Still, I don't know, this is still an awkward spot for Annihilape where like you want to switch it out, but you also don't, and like, Scizor hasn't taken any turns of sleep, so it's going to stay asleep for the next... It has at least 1 turn, guaranteed turn to burn through. Great Tusk can still do a lot of damage here, though. Earthquake does look like an appealing prospect, were it not for this Terra Grass preserved for this Arcanine.
Hisui and Arcanine does lock in the Terra Grass here. Pretty common Terra for this Pokemon for really good reason. It synergizes really well with its Rock Grass type, with its Rock Fire typing. Excuse me. Gastrodon going to protect here, and we do see Great Tusk is faster than the Arcanine. That's important to note. This Rock Slide coming out here, going to do not very much at all, really, thanks to the Intimidate and the Reflect, but flinch is huge there.
Yep, the flinch is going to stop that Arcanine from getting the KO onto Annihilape or doing anything really. Now Annihilape gets to heal pretty much back up to over half, probably outside of Earth Power range at this point, even if it is. Remember, this Gastrodon has been hanging around on 1 health for like 4 turns now.
Gastrodon definitely braver than I am. I would have gotten the heck out of dodge by this point. Annihilape does go to sleep, so that's nice, but there's literally 1 HP on the side of Cody for this game, and we do see the forfeit.
Great Tusk has got that handled, so
I think Great Tusk can do 1 HP of damage even on its worst day.
yes, unless it's into Drift Blim, then this one had Rock Slide, so it's okay. But if it misses all the time on its worst day, whatever. But either way, that was a very different game than the one we saw in Game 1, where Annihilape actually got to do what it wanted. It didn't get KO'd by the Spectrier, was not there threatening those big Shadow Ball, and that especially impactful drop.
Yeah, critically, Annihilape surviving that Shadow Ball from the Gholdengo, incredibly important. The fact that it was able to survive meant that the game wasn't over. It meant that Ori was able to keep it around with all of its stat boosts, all of the Rage Fist boosts.
Which again, it was at +6.
+6, Rage Fist presumably at max power by that point.
If not, it definitely enough power.
It would have
enough to KO everything probably.
If he had pressed the button and looked at the power of Rage Fist, it would have just said enough.
Yeah, like you put that.
It'll do enough.
Yeah, you put that in the damage calc, and it's just like enough. That's like it's good. You're good.
Just says you're probably good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is really hard for Cody because Cody's kind of team is designed around getting those boosts, like slowing down the pace of the game. And Annihilape is like the perfect Pokemon to prey on that because it says, okay, we're gonna slow down the pace of the game. I'm just gonna get hit by beat up, which didn't even happen, and it still got stupefying levels of offense, and just blows through things with super powerful Rage Fist. So, and it can bulk up on passive turns, like really difficult, tricky to deal with. So,
Annihilape says, "I can take your slow game and play it better than you."
Yeah, like that's
like it out slow games the slow team,
yeah,
just because of its innate properties.
Yeah, and it's got that healing with Drain Punch and Leftover. So this is definitely a tricky thing for Cody to have to navigate here. And there's also the fact that there's like other Pokemon like Great Tusk.
There was a Great Tusk there. We barely talked about it because it didn't have to do, let me check my notes here, anything at all.
Well, no, got that Rock Slide flinch. That was really big. But either way, we're into game 3 now, and we do see that is the Maushold Great Tusk lead, not the most common combination. Now we have the switch up of Gholdengo and Gastrodon, so a different G starting Pokemon.
Okay, I'm sorry, Great Tusk. I forgot. That was very important. Kudos to you. This is an interesting one. Gholdengo is definitely sort of in an awkward spot. Yeah, it does elect to switch out here. You can't lock into Shadow Ball against Maushold, for example. Grimmsnarl going to switch in here is not going to love taking hits either, but will certainly take them better than Gholdengo would have, just to protect from Maushold this turn.
Maushold's going to keep itself safe. The Headlong Rush just slamming straight into the Grimmsnarl. Reflect is not up, so that's a easy 2-hit KO at this point. Special defense drop will be disastrous here because the Ice Beam will do significantly more damage, though still not, like, maybe a 2-hit KO, but probably not here. Another Headlong Rush definitely will make Ice Beam.
Yep, thank you, Assault Vest, for that one. Grimmsnarl comes onto the field and is going to really be able to set up pretty much any screen it wants. I would assume Reflect at this point. Great Tusk going to switch out there. Ori does not want to lose Great Tusk to a second Ice Beam so early on.
Yeah, and Maushold's probably not in a spot where it can do a whole lot here, so yeah, Annihilape is going to switch in. Maushold actually proving me wrong immediately. You're just going to go for the taunt, stop that yawn from Gastrodon. So yeah, that was what the Gastrodon was going for. Didn't try to take the bait and Ice Beam into that Great Tusk, which Annihilape would have taken that very comfortably. only would have to worry about a freeze there.
Definitely. Population Bomb going off into Grimmsnarl. That's 3 hits. Crit for good measure. 4
Another
should
crit.
be good.
One more, does it hit? Yeah, there we go. We got Maushold gets to Pop Bomb and KO a thing that isn't itself.
So that's a first for it this set. Good job, Mouse family. And a bulk up onto Annihilape. Pretty free to do so. Not really threatened that much by Gastrodon now that Yawn is off the table.
Yep, Earth Power not doing a whole lot of damage here. But yeah, even when a special defense drop happens, that's kind of okay for Annihilape because it just gets +2 attack. So now it's at +3, and it has a 100 base power Rage Fist. And Maushold is still around to keep it safe from Shadow Balls.
The Maushold being in play is very important here. Being able to redirect Shadow Ball, very, very important. Make it rain would be nice if this Annihilape didn't have a Terra type that made it resistant to steel attacks, which I think we're going to see here.
Yeah, it's the Terra Fire here makes a lot of sense, because if Follow Me is in play, then Shadow Ball is kind of off the table. So it has to be Make It Rain, and so Annihilape has to Terra Fire. The special defense drop will be annoying if Earth Power comes out, but not going to be into the Annihilape, that's for sure. Just Follow Me.
Oh, Make It Rain coming out, going to fell the Maushold in a single hit. Thank you, Choice Specs. Special attack drop coming through. The family does fall, but their great-grandfather, don't ask me about the lineage there, does survive. Rage Fist going to come off, and that's going to definitely KO Gholdengo.
Yep, Gholdengo definitely KO'd by a 150 base power +3 Rage Fist. Yeah, that checks out. See how much the Earth Power does, though. It does KO the Terra Fire Annihilape after that special defense drop. These special defense drops have been so crucial to the KOing this Annihilape.
They've swung whole games here. Taunt does wear off on Gastrodon. That could be very important. We do see Hisui and Arcanine is the last Pokemon here, and is now safe to enter the field now that Annihilape is off the field.
Arcanine is going to intimidate this Scizor, or at least it would, but this Scizor does have the clear amulet, as we'll show in a second. It does intimidate the Great Tusk as well. Great Tusk also going to be faster. There's the clear. Great Tusk is faster than the Arcanine. We saw that in game 2. Arcanine kind of has to go for the Terra Grass here, otherwise an Earthquake or Headlong Rush will swiftly KO it. And this is a really dicey endgame where Cody might just have a little bit of an edge, but it's still really tricky.
It's definitely tricky. The Terra was saved for this Arcanine. Terra Grass is going to be pretty good for it here because this Scizor does not have any bug moves. So it's not going to be able to hit it super effectively.
Yep, and Terra has already been used from Ori with that Annihilape, so close combat at -1 into the Arcanine really doesn't do that much thanks to the Terra Grass option. So special defense does fall, the defense falls. Arcanine go for the Terra Grass, Terra Blast into that Great Tusk. Definitely enough to KO, especially after that defense drop from the close combat. And it's Scizor kind of against the world here. Have a second follow-up close combat. Does a little bit more, maybe. But yeah, at this point, Arcanine is just a Flare Blitz away from closing out this game. Gastrodon doesn't even have to do that much. Ice Beam, cool.
Yeah, I think in the Scizor against the world game, the world is very much in charge here. Bullet Punch is almost enough to pick up the Arcanine there, but not quite. Flare Blitz is going to come out, and Scizor doesn't like taking Flare Blitz on a good day.
Yep. Or is going to get KO'd there, and that is Cody narrowly taking that set. Those special defense drops onto Annihilape were massive. I think both of them mattered hugely in this set.
Repeatedly very important.
Like, I mean, it's as simple as the games that Cody won, he got special defense drops on Annihilape. The game he lost, he didn't. That might be an oversimplification, but I think that's in large part what kind of happened.
It may be an oversimplification, but it's true, right? And I think we would also be remiss to not point out the value of Reflect in that set.
Reflect was very good, yeah.
No special attackers from Ori's side came in that entire set, and by that I mean Flutter Mane. It's just Flutter Mane.
Which, that's kind of the case for a lot of teams, honestly.
Right.
But
I'm a little surprised we didn't see it, given the prevalence of Reflect and even Intimidate from the Arcanine, that
Yeah,
whole set.
I think Talonflame might also have been a pretty nice adjustment to make Annihilate faster than Gholdengo.
Well, we did see Talonflame.
Well, okay,
It didn't get a whole lot done.
I mean, like in the back, maybe in game 3, that could have been a really nice option, or in game 2, actually. I think, well, that one he won anyway. But either way, like that option to make Annihilate faster than Gholdengo might have been really impactful.
Would have been important, yeah.
Otherwise, you just take big Shadow Balls, and that does too much. So yeah, really interesting set there. Showing the power of Annihilate, that thing is nothing to be trifled with.
Still absurd.
Yeah, it got to +6 attack. That's nuts. But anyway,
and then it got there again.
Yeah, and don't just Annihilate got more attack boost than I'll ever get in my entire life. It's nuts. Just in one set, but that's all we've got for round 4. He'll be back shortly with round 5, and right after that, the top cut. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.